In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps I took to go from being a regular high school student to getting accepted into Princeton University, one of the most competitive Ivy League schools in the world, as well as helping hundreds of students get into Harvard, Yale, Stanford, MIT, and other top-tier colleges with a 75% acceptance rate into Ivy League schools, without being a legacy student, having famous parents, or donating millions to university. And this is the exact process I now pass down to hundreds of families around the world who've gone on to see their children become the top applicants in their class, get accepted into elite universities, and receive full scholarships to their dream schools. Going like me, from a regular high school student with no special connections to attending one of the most prestigious universities in the world and living my dream life among the academic elite. Now, I cannot guarantee the results I've had, but I can guarantee are results of previously average students just like your child who used this opportunity to change their future. Like Mei Ling here, who went from being an ambitious student at Aragon High School to getting accepted into Harvard without ever previously having any Ivy League connections. Or at Veit, who was struggling to stand out at Lynbrook High School, a highly competitive Bay Area high school packed with academically gifted students, now getting accepted to Stanford. And Jessica, who went from being a typical high achiever at her high school to getting into Columbia to study computer science, and now going on to work at Goldman Sachs. Now, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Eric Ang, and if you want your child to get into an Ivy League, Stanford, MIT, or top-tier college, and you want them to stand out from the thousands of other high achievers, if you finally want them to get respected by admissions officers, admired by their peers, make you proud as parents, get off the wait list, and secure their dream spot at their dream school, then this video is really for you. Because after having been accepted to Princeton and helping students get into some of the best universities in the world, I'm going to be revealing the simple strategies I use outside of regular schoolwork to stand out from other applicants and get into elite universities. I'm going to show you the 3 biggest problems your child needs to overcome to go from where they are to a standout applicant at an Ivy League university. In the next 13 minutes, you will learn everything you need to know to actually improve your child's chances without all the BS you see online. But if you can't sit down and focus for just 13 minutes, then maybe getting your child into their dream school and securing their future is not for you. And for those who watch this video until the end, I'll give you my free college admissions mastery program and a special gift, so make sure you watch the entire video. Now, I want you to know that I'm speaking from experience. When I was in high school, I was just another smart kid among thousands of other smart kids, all competing for the same spots at elite universities. But I quickly realized that good grades and test scores weren't enough anymore. And by the time I was a junior, I knew I wanted to attend an Ivy League school more than anything. But at 16, I was just another high-achieving student, struggling to stand out and barely understanding what admissions officers actually wanted to see. And that's when I realized something had to change. I was tired of being just another student, and I was tired of not knowing what to do. And following the same generic college prep advice that every other student was following just seemed hopeless. So I decided to go to the one person I knew who could help me. I found a college admissions consultant who had worked directly with Ivy League admissions officers and had helped hundreds of students get into top schools over the past 15 years. So I knew this person had all the information I needed to know, but their service cost over $25,000, and my family had to take out loans and make huge financial sacrifices to afford it. So after my parents spent this massive amount of money on this program, for the next 3 months, I worked with this consultant weekly to learn their strategies and get as much information as possible. I just wanted to know everything. And after working with them consistently for months and implementing the proven system, I finally started seeing improvements in my application strategy. I started building a compelling narrative. I started developing unique extracurriculars. And finally, for the first time, I actually felt like I was making real progress toward my goal. So for the next 6 months, following everything they laid out for me, I went on to get accepted into Princeton University and got to compete alongside some of the brightest students in the world. Along the way, I documented my journey and I started helping other students. And the question I get asked all the time is, how do I do all of it? And this is exactly what I'll be sharing with you today. So let's get right into it. There are really only 3 problems your child needs to overcome to go from where they are to a standout applicant and get accepted into an Ivy League school. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not easy. 99% of students never make it past problem number 1. But if you can figure this all out and solve each problem logically, your child can be the top applicant in their class and get on track to attending an elite Ivy League university. That being said, problem number 1 is mastering the core components of an Ivy League applicant. There are really only 4 components that all Ivy League students have in common. And if your child is missing just one of these components, their chances of getting accepted into an Ivy League university decline drastically. That being said, we need to build their academic, extracurricular, personal, and strategic profile so that they can have the grades and test scores to meet the baseline requirements. Having a solid foundation of meaningful extracurriculars, including leadership, community service, and unique achievements, is extremely important. And also, they need to have the personal story and character to stand out in their essays and interviews, and have the strategic approach to present themselves in the most compelling way possible. If your child ever feels overwhelmed, makes application mistakes, overthinks their essays, or doubts their chances of getting in, it's because they're probably missing one of these core components. But the good news is these can be developed and improved systematically. They will do this by optimizing their course selection, building meaningful extracurricular profiles, crafting compelling personal narratives, and strategically positioning themselves for admissions success. This is the exact process that Amy followed to go from the Harker School, which is a really competitive school in the Bay Area, to getting accepted into Harvard and even meeting with Bill Gates. Now, you see, most students never develop these fundamentals because of the following reasons. When they work on applications individually, they do random activities with no strategic direction, leaving them stuck looking like every other applicant, even though they're spending countless hours on their profile. They don't work on their weaknesses and continue reinforcing their strengths. Instead of developing leadership skills, they continue doing the same volunteering work with the same approach, hoping for a different outcome. Or they create this huge application plan and follow it for just 3 days before falling off schedule. Now look, it's possible to make massive changes to your child's academic, extracurricular, personal, and strategic profile as long as you do it the right way. And believe me, I was stuck in this trap during my early high school years, doing random activities that I thought looked good, making all these mistakes and never really seeing any results in my application strength. But the second I got a mentor, I quickly went from being just another smart student to getting accepted into Princeton, simply because I had an expert who helped me accountable every step of the way. Now, unless your child builds a solid foundation right now, no counselor, consultant, or admissions officer can help them get to the next level. Alex realized this and mastered the core components, took action, and recently got into Stanford as a 17-year-old without any academic awards. At this point, once your child has all the components, it's easy to think that they have to continue building this way. But that's not the case. Which brings me to problem number 2, specialized positioning, which is the one thing that either makes or breaks their application. Now, this is the most difficult part of the process. Once your child has the fundamentals down, we need to change their approach so they develop at least one specialized area that sets themselves apart from everyone else. Now, this specialization will be directly linked to their intended major and career path. On screen here, you can see a list of specializations that admissions officers look for, depending on your child's intended field of study. Make sure to pick the one that comes naturally to them. Pick one they're already interested in, so it can be easy to stand out. The reason why there are 17-year-old students getting into Harvard and MIT is because they understand that having good grades alone is not enough, which is why they have at least one specialization that sets them from everyone else. Now from here, we need to combine their specialization with compelling storytelling and strategic positioning. When you do this, your child will constantly make a positive impression every time admissions officers review their application. Your family will be respected and your child will always be remembered during the admissions committee discussions. You will make your extended family proud of their achievements year after year. And most importantly, you'll maximize their chances of getting into their dream school. Now, all of this is possible as long as they do the right preparation and have the right guidance around them, which I'll show you in just a second. Just like Aroha, who went from being another ordinary straight A Asian student at her high school to getting accepted into Princeton University. Which brings me to problem number 3. The last thing holding your child back right now is a lack of a clear plan and pathway to reaching their goals. Whether your child's goal is to get into an Ivy League school, a top-tier university, or simply become the best applicant in their class right now, they need a clear-cut game plan. But what exactly do they need to do? How do they go from where they are to where they want to be? How do they balance everything with all the stress coming from school, academics, and extracurriculars? Meanwhile, every time you scroll on social media, you see yet another 17-year-old getting accepted to Harvard and Stanford, leaving you feeling worried about your child's future and not knowing if they're going to make it. This might be you, and trust me, I know exactly how you feel. Okay, those late nights where you feel like their dream is slowly slipping away can be frightening. Now look, it's easier than you think, but first we need to remove all our emotions and use some logic. Step 1, we need to master the fundamentals. That alone will help your child see massive improvements so that they can gain confidence in their abilities. From there, we need to develop their unique specialization that will set them apart from everyone else and allow them to truly stand out wherever they apply. Finally, once you know they have what it takes, we need to strategically position your child and showcase their achievements to maximize their admissions chances. There is a way you can do this without just submitting another generic application and hoping for the best among thousands of other qualified candidates. So here's a better way. Once you realize your child has developed into a standout applicant, we then need to craft a compelling narrative that ties together all of their achievements, experiences, and goals into a cohesive story that admissions officers just can't ignore. This way, when admissions officers review their application, your child is not just applicant number 13,278 with good grades and test scores, but someone with a unique and memorable profile that stands out from the rest of the crowd. This way, they're 100 times more likely to remember and advocate for a student with a clear, compelling story than another generic high achiever with scattered activities. But remember, this strategic positioning only works if your child actually has a foundation and specialization we've built in the previous steps. By following this game plan, Shannon went from being a typical high-achieving student at Monte Vista to becoming one of the most standout applicants and getting accepted to Princeton. But we're not quite done yet, so stay with me. This next step is the most important in the process, so pay close attention. Look, if right now your child doesn't stand out in their applications, don't worry. They don't have to be born with perfect grades, leadership skills, or natural charisma. They can build these up naturally, and I'll show you how in just a second. But before I do, let's recap what we've covered so far. Right now, you know that the 3 biggest problems standing between your child and their dream university are 1, mastering the 4 components of an Ivy League applicant, 2, specialized positioning, and 3, having a clear plan and pathway to reaching their goals. If your child is struggling with just one of these, they're going to struggle to stand out, struggle to become the top applicant in their class, and get on the radar of Ivy League schools, top universities, or any elite institutions. Albert realized this and took action, which led him to getting accepted to Stanford University, where he studied with the brightest minds in the world on robotics, supervision, and artificial intelligence. And Tyler here, who only had a 3.3 GPA in high school, and he ended up getting accepted to UPenn, a prestigious Ivy League school in Pennsylvania. I went from being a student who was just another smart kid among thousands, started taking applications seriously at 16, to getting accepted to Princeton University. If your child started focusing on college prep before me, imagine how successful they could be if they had the same guidance, strategy, and mentorship that I had. There was a massive opportunity here, and it's not just myself as proof, as you can see. Or Jessica, who went from being a regular high achiever to getting accepted to Columbia. Alex went from a small high school in Orange County to getting accepted to Stanford University. And Mei Ling got accepted to Harvard University from an ordinary Bay Area high school. But look, if you try to solve these problems on your own, you're going to spend years trying to figure it all out. I've done that and spent 2 years during my early high school years stuck stuck at the same level doing generic college prep, sitting with average applications, even though I thought I was doing the right things. Now look, you know this better than I do. The time window to get into elite universities is running out faster than ever. Just months of not doing the right things can destroy your child's chances of success in college admissions. But if you just get this right, your child can live their dream lifestyle and unlock a whole new reality you never thought possible. Because families are realizing you don't need any type of legacy connections or millions of dollars to get your child into an elite university. So the question becomes, how can you get results like the dozens of families I've shown you in this video? Well, you have two options. Option one is trying to do it all by yourself, use the information I've given you, and continue going down this journey alone, knowing you'll probably end up wasting months, if not years. This is a risky path where your child could develop bad application habits that become harder to fix later on. Without a clear plan, their college prep will be all over the place, causing you to feel frustrated, and your chances of giving up increase if you get stuck and don't have support on this tough journey. That's why I created our Elite College Counseling Program, the second option, where I take you by the hand and show you every single thing your child needs to go from where they are to a confident standout applicant. Whether that means becoming the top applicant in their class, getting accepted into an Ivy League school, or maybe one day attending their dream university. Every single success story you've seen in this video has worked with our team, where we take students from sometimes average applicants to becoming the top candidate in their school and getting them on track to attending an elite university. Here's what we help families achieve. We work with your child to optimize their academic profile, develop meaningful extracurricular leadership, craft compelling personal narratives, and create strategic application plans that make admissions officers take notice. We've helped students increase their SAT scores by 200 points, start their nonprofit leadership organizations, create impactful community initiatives, get an academic research paper published, and most importantly, get accepted into their dream schools with full scholarships. Our approach is completely personalized. We don't believe in cookie-cutter strategies because every student is unique. That's why we start with this comprehensive assessment of your child's current profile, goals, and timeline to create a custom roadmap for success. So that being said, if you want the best for your child, click the link in the description below this video to book a call with our team to see exactly how we can help your child get into their dream school. On this call, we'll review your child's current situation, identify the biggest gaps in their profile, and show you exactly what needs to happen for them to become a standout applicant that elite universities just can't ignore. This is a one-on-one strategy session where you'll walk away with a clear action plan regardless whether we work together or not. Now, you may be asking, why am I doing all this? It's because I see so many hardworking families and students who won't reach their dreams because they don't have a proven pathway to elite universities. I saw my transformation and realized that pretty much any student can do it if they put in the hard work, following the specific steps that I took to go from being an average applicant to the most confident standout student and getting accepted into Princeton. And our results speak for themselves. Hundreds of families have worked with us to see their children become the best in their class, get accepted into elite universities, and receive full scholarships to their dream schools. But a quick warning before you go, we only work with a limited number of families each year because of the personalized attention we provide. These strategy calls fill up fast, and we may not have availability again for months. But that's not all. There's a very small window of time in your child's life where they have the opportunity to make massive improvements in their college preparation that affect the rest of their life. The opportunity is here for the taking. Ultimately, you have to decide if you want to take action or sit back and watch other families succeed. So what are you waiting for? Take this unique opportunity. Life is presenting your family while you still can. Go below this video right now and click the link in the description to book your strategy call today. Now, at this moment, you have two options. The first option is to forget you ever watched this video and continue trying to do everything by yourself. Just cross your fingers and continue going with the flow, never sticking to a proper plan and suffer from the endless pain and frustration of seeing your child's applications get weaker and weaker. As you continue watching other families' children get accepted into elite universities, leaving your child further and further behind. Now, this is not what I want for your family, and I know this is not what you want for your child. So here's option 2, and this is where things get a little exciting. This is a new reality that has been chosen by hundreds of families before you. A reality where every time your child submits an application, you have unshakable confidence in their chances, where you know they're going to stand out before they even submit. A reality where your friends are amazed by your child's achievements, where they become irreplaceable in their school, their teachers and counselors respect them, and where you make your extended family proud of their accomplishments year after year. A new reality where rejections are no longer a thing, where your child applies with absolute confidence, free from any stress, frustration, and anxiety that was holding them back from the future they truly deserve. This is the reality your family has been waiting for your entire lives. Passing up this opportunity might become a regret you carry on forever. Don't live in regret. Take the leap of faith while you still can. Click the link in the description below to book your strategy call and take the first step towards the future your child truly deserves.